Hey guys, so the puppy is sleeping, Ella is sleeping, Gabe is sleeping, Maple is sleeping, and I am not tired, so I'm not sleeping. I missed Monday's video, or putting a video up on Monday. Things look crazy, it happens, but today we are here, it's Wednesday, and I want to do this video and put it up quickly for you. Sorry for the weird background. Number one, my child broke my tripod, so I need to figure out how I'm going to get good lighting and prop the camera up at the same time. Also sorry for the weird positioning. The sun is like coming directly in the window, so I can't even like face the window and just have the bed as my background. This is Jude's cage. He's in the cage at night. This is my bed. Look. It is even made. Here we go. So yeah, you can see my giant water bottle. I drink one of those a day. Anyway, so today I wanted to do a books a la mode. This is what I had planned for Monday. So today's books a la mode is going to be the Queen of the Tearling. Hopefully I have it on my front facing camera, so this might very well be backwards for you. If it is, I'm very sorry. This is a novel by Erica Johansson. I don't believe, let me just double check in here before I make an ass of myself, but I don't think that Erica Johansson has written anything else. I think that this is her first novel. It doesn't look like she's written anything else, so I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that it's her first novel. I will put a link to her website, whatever it may be, down below. I randomly picked up The Queen of the Tearling when I was in my local Kohl's. Kohl's in Canada is a bookstore. It's kind of like a Walden Books. They're just really tiny, little hole-in-the-wall stores that carry, you know, a limited selection of books and some like knickknacks and stuff like that. Kohl's is like one of my favorite places of life and chapters. But anyway, so I just randomly saw it and I was like, I'm in the mood for a good novel. Let me pick it up and read this. And holy crap, I was not disappointed. Also, I know that I'm technically supposed to be doing Glass Sword right now, but in all honesty, I need to reread that book because it has been so long since I have read Glass Sword. It's been like 6 or 7 months, and I legitimately cannot remember what happened. Anyway. For me, Erica Johansson, not only is she a very traditional fantasy writer, she's along the lines of like Barb and J.C. Hendy, who wrote Dump Here. She's even along the lines of, you know, a little bit, definitely more modern than Tolkien, but still that same feel where you get a lot of people's backstories in the book, and the book comes from a lot of different people's perspectives, but they all circle back around and they all connect together to Kelsey's story. She is the main character. The book is written third person omniscient, and I really appreciate that in a book. I can get into books where it's from first person, but I really, especially when there's so many people's stories happening, I really appreciate a third person omniscient view. And it's just a very good, like, I don't want to say standard because this book isn't standard by any means. It was an absolutely beautiful, glorious book, and it really set the stage for the other two books. But it's your standard fantasy book. It's not, you know, Laurel K. Hamilton, where there's a lot of gore and violence. It's not so much, you know, I would almost akin it to Anne Bishop without the graphicness. and in the way that female characters are very strong in this book, and the male characters really carry them along, but not in a bad way. They really support the main character, and they have their own stories, and you're also kind of confused sometimes. Those are sometimes the most frustrating books to start, but also the best books to start. And it's really cool because about, you know, a third, maybe halfway through the book, you all of a sudden figure something out about where the timeline of this is set. And for me, it kind of blew my mind. Like, I was like, oh, like, that's where we are? Like, okay. It's so crazy. And it's so cool because it has its own, she set up its own religion. There is a map. Again, I'm sorry if this is backwards, but she has a hand-drawn map in here, which I really appreciate because this book is also very political, not in the boring drudgery, sorry to anybody who likes House of Cards or like West Wing or anything like that, but like not like that type of like really heavily into politics, but it's the politics of this kingdom, of this land, of this world. And you do get that. You get people discussing treaties, and it's very easy to follow and very easy to understand. I'm trying to think of if anybody has ever read the book The Killer Angels. It's about the Civil War, and that book was just so strategy heavy and so politically charged and so like heavy into the politics of it. I was really young when I read it too. I was only in middle school, and I was so lost, like so lost. So it's not like a war book by any means, but there is definitely fighting. But even in the fighting, it doesn't trudge on really. It's done very, very well. The parts that need to be concise are concise. The parts that you want to be drawn out are drawn out. And the main character of Kelsey, how we find in a lot of modern writing now, she's a human being. She's a very complex human being. She sucks at things. She might not be that attractive. She's a standard middle of the road type of person who has been set on her path of being the queen, and she doesn't know what the hell is going on, and quite frankly, she's not very good at it. But the cool thing is that because you get that side from her, there are definitely choices that she makes that you don't agree with, but other characters in the book do. So it starts to make you think about the choices that she has made differently. I really love the character of Mace, or Lazarus. He is very funny to me. I really enjoy his character. For some reason, whenever I picture him, I picture, oh, darn. Who is it? I can picture him in my head. He kind of looks like Christian Slater. Darn. If I can remember his name and where he was from, I will put it down below. But that's who I picture in my mind when I think of him. So I'll just look in the description box because it'll come to me. It'll come to me. I find he's very funny. He's very dry. And again, he's a very complex character. He can be a total jackass sometimes. And there was definitely one part in this book where I was like, no, you didn't. Like, I wanted to punch him myself. And in real life, I probably would have died just making physical contact with him. But that's okay. What else? There's a lot of mystery to this. The Queen of, I think it's pronounced Mortments. I don't know if it's supposed to be French. I don't know. Oh gosh, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. I don't know if it's supposed to be a French name or if it's supposed to be like a different language. Again, like, it's kind of clear where they are and what's going on, but at the same time it's not. And again, with where the timeline is, you kind of have to think of what has happened in the world and stuff like that, like in their world. So it's sometimes a little bit hard to kind of like judge where you are, but the Queen of Mortments is a very mysterious, very intriguing character. Obviously, she is pure evil. She is very much along the lines of the bad guys. That kind of sounds juvenile, but I cannot think of her name off the top of my head, but she's kind of like the main villain in the Blood Jewel trilogy. But yeah, very, you know, there's sex slavery and manual laborers. She's in the slave trade. She likes the finer things of life, and she's also totally twisted and evil. So there you go. The other thing about this book is that it has a little bit of magic in it, but the thing I like about it is that it's not like a lot of other fantasy novels where there's no magic and then the main character finds magic and all of a sudden magic is everywhere. It's literally like there's a hum of magic throughout the entire book, and it's unusual. So it's not just like, oh, like all of a sudden there's magic and there's magic everywhere. There's kind of like this level of people know that magic exists, but it's still like crazy. So I found that really kind of cool and like a cool take and a cool, like, kind of like refreshing. This is the first of 3 books. I am currently reading the second one. It is very good so far. Spoiler alert. And the ending of this book does tie up quite a few loose ends, but it's still, because it is first in a trilogy, it does leave room for the second and third book, and I really liked that. Again, it wasn't a complete cliffhanger, but at the same time, you do want to find out what happens to Kelsey. You do want to find out how her story progresses. And it's nice because it's not so dramatic and so charged that you feel like every chapter something huge is happening. Sometimes it's characters talking, sometimes it's character development, sometimes it's learning about a new character and he's just having a conversation with somebody, or he's recalling a conversation or something from his past. And it's a lot of, you know, it's very a character heavy story, which I really, really appreciate because I love character creation and thought process that goes behind creating different characters. The other thing that I like about this that I thought was really, really unique is at the beginning of every chapter there is a quote. Sometimes they're quite long, sometimes they're shorter, but it's a quote from a fictional book that is written by either a relative of or one of the characters that you meet in the chapter. So definitely really pay attention to who the authors are, because it will relate directly to the chapter that you read, and sometimes it's the person, sometimes it's their grandmother or grandfather, that you meet in the chapter. So it's, you know, the grandchild who's written it. Sometimes it's quotes about or paragraphs about what happened and the historical recounting of this event that you've just read of. So it's really cool, and the author Erica Johansson did an amazing job of putting those together in a way that they're not unrealistic, but at the same time it really pulls everything together. So I hope that you enjoyed this Books a la Mode. I know that it's been a hot minute, and I know that I missed Monday, but I'm here on Wednesday. We're getting it up. One video a week, and we're going strong still so far, so that's good. Things are definitely happening here. We are just got a new puppy. There will be a video on him very soon, and we're getting some of our floors redone, and school is about to start up again soon, so definitely lots and lots and lots of things happening, so just bear with me. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want more Books a la Mode videos, don't forget to check the description box down below for a link, and on top of that, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you are notified anytime you get a new video. Also, I will be doing a book giveaway pretty soon. So if you like books, like I do, stay tuned for that. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!